Guys, the creator economy is changing. Social media platforms are at risk of being banned. Social media altogether is at risk of being banned in some locations for young people. And on top of all of this, there are new features and new ways to earn an income every single day. The question that we all need to answer is, what separates the creators who thrive throughout this change and this turbulence versus the ones who don't? And that is the exact question that I'm going to answer in today's video. This video is an absolute must watch for any existing content creators or anyone who is looking to become a content creator. By the way, this video is brought to you by Hostinger. More on them later. All right, guys, let's just cut to the chase, shall we? What is the thing that separates the successful creators from the ones that don't end up seeing success? That thing is that the successful creators see social media as a platform. Now, I know I often refer to Instagram and YouTube and TikTok as social media platforms. There's a reason for that, because that is what they are. And when I talk about using social media as a platform, what I'm referring to is using social media as a way to create a broader brand.
Let me explain.
So we don't use social media as the end result. It's not the final destination. It's simply a springboard for us to move our audience onto different places and to communicate with them off platform. That is the number one thing which will allow creators to see success, regardless of whether TikTok gets banned, social media gets banned, they lose access to their Instagram account. All of that stuff won't matter if you use social media as a platform and not as the final destination. So what does using social media as a platform actually look like? Essentially, what we need to do in order to effectively do this is we need to build our audience on social media for sure, but we need to have a strategy in place which will allow us to move that audience onto your own platform. Now, this could either be your own website where you can communicate with your audience through a blog or sell products or services to them, or to an email list, which will allow you to email your audience without having to worry about pesky things like algorithms or platform outages, etc. These are two of the best strategies when it comes to your ability to move your audience off platform. And these are the things that I want to dive into a little bit deeper today. So let's first dive into creating your own website. So as I mentioned, creating a website will allow you to give your audience a new space for them to stay in touch with you, to communicate with you, to engage with you, to buy from you, which doesn't rely on your social media presence. You've probably heard this term before, but people in this industry like to refer to social media platforms as rented land, because essentially we don't own Instagram, we don't own TikTok, so we don't own anything that we have on that platform. But when you create your own website, you do. Now, I'm going to break down the most efficient way for you to create your website, and that is by using Hostinger. Now, Hostinger have an AI website building tool, which will literally allow you to create your website in a few minutes. Like, it's so quick and it's so efficient. In fact, I'm going to bring up a demo on the screen so that you can actually watch me do this and see in real time just how quickly you could create your website. So these are the steps. You want to enter your brand name, select a website type, describe your business. So as you can see here, I just wrote literally one sentence breaking down who I was and what I did. And then you want to use drag and drop to fully customize your website. As you can see, Hostinger has already created the template of my website based on the description that I gave them. It's even already written me some copy, which is wild. So it says, grow your audience, receive valuable tips to grow your audience and earn an income online. If we scroll down, you can see the other sections. This bit is about how to grow your audience, tips for content creators. It's all blog style because that was the type of website that I indicated. And then there's a section here for my photos, because obviously I've said that I'm a content creator, and then a contact me section, which is incredible. So I'm going to click on edit site, and here it's going to open up the drag and drop features. So now I'll be able to fully customize my site. So I'll be able to do things like change my image, I can edit it, I can generate it using AI, I can change the text, I can change the colors, I can add new sections here, and there's a toolbar at the left which allows me to do even more things, such as browse the AI tools. Now, this is the perfect segue to talk about some of the additional AI tools that they have, which will make the process of creating your website even easier. There's the AI logo maker, which does what you would expect. It allows you to create a logo for your website or for your brand using AI. So you can do this by entering a few keywords and selecting your style. Let's write down coffee shop, for example. I know this isn't my actual brand, but fun facts about me, myself and my husband have always wanted to own a coffee shop. That's like something that we see ourselves doing in later life, you know? But then we want to click here to pick a style. So I'm going to click like modern. I'm going to click generate. And voila, here you can see a few different graphics and examples that I could use for my future coffee shop. There's also the AI heat map tool, which I absolutely love. I used to use this prolifically in some of my old businesses, and I haven't used a tool like this recently, and it's making me realize that I need to start again. Essentially, a heat map allows you to review how people are interacting with your website. So it will basically show you the order in which people interact with different sections and the sections that people will hover on the longest. You can use all of this data to improve the functionality of your website. So if you notice that actually people are scrolling straight to the bottom to look at a specific article, then you probably want to move that article to the top because that's clearly the part that people are most interested in, right? Now, one of my absolute favorite AI tools is their AI writer. It essentially creates copy for your website that is SEO friendly. Now, if you're not familiar with marketing, I've probably just said a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, but essentially Google will look at all of the copy, also known as the text on your website, to figure out what your website is about and also to figure out how highly it's going to rank it. So when people go onto Google to search for a coffee shop, if my website is well optimized, my website will appear and that will drive so much traffic to my website. This is a very hard thing to do. This usually requires teams of SEO copywriters and like intense training. It's definitely not something that I'm trained in, but using this tool, you don't have to be. All you have to do is type in some text description. I mean, look at what I typed in. It's not very good. But yeah, it's managed to take that and actually create a bunch of text for me, as you can see here, that is well optimized for SEO. So it will increase the chances of my website ranking. And it's written it completely for me so I can put that onto my website. Isn't that incredible? So remember, the purpose of you creating this website is so that you're able to move your audience off of social media somewhere else. So you can either use this website to host a blog, to sell your products or services, or maybe even use your website to build an email list. If you do all these things using Hostinger, you'll be able to do it super, super quickly. And I have a special code which will actually give you 10% off. So to get started with Hostinger, go to hostinger.com/Jade10 and use the code Jade10 for 10% off. By the way, if you sign up to the business plan, it offers all of the tools that I just broke down to you, the AI tools, in addition to some e-commerce tools as well. So it's by far the best plan to sign up to. All right, should we move on to method number 2 for how you can ensure that you can ride the storm of content creation and come out thriving? Method 2 is about building an email list, which I actually alluded to previously. Now, an email list is literally a list of emails that you have from your audience, and it allows you to contact your audience without having to worry about algorithms and stuff like that. So let's say the worst has happened. TikTok has been banned in your location, or maybe you've lost your Instagram account, whatever it might be. And you're sitting there thinking, how am I going to contact all of these people who have followed me over the years? If you have an email list, you'll be able to do that. I know that right now, if I lost access to all of my social media channels, touch wood, I don't even think I have like real wood in this flat. I've just got like fake MDF. So like touch wood. I'm the closest thing to wood. Anyway, if I were to lose access to all of my social media accounts on one horrific day, I know that I could email 20,000 people on my email list to let them know. And when I create a fresh account, I know that I can share a link to this account to 20,000 people, and a lot of them will go and support it. And you can do the exact same thing too. You just have to start the process of building your email list. Now, this can be a bit of a convoluted process, but I do have a masterclass which breaks down the easiest and most simplistic way for you to do this. It's available inside my membership, The Collective. I'll put a link below in case you want to get your hands on it. But in a nutshell, the process of creating an email list involves you creating something called a freebie, which is basically something you can offer to your audience for free in exchange for you getting their email address. This is the most effective ways to build an email list. If you don't do this and you just cross your fingers that people just start giving you their email addresses, you're probably setting yourself up for failure. You normally need to give something of value first before someone will give them something as valuable as their email data, right? So you create something of value to your audience, you offer it for free. People are able to claim this using your website that you may have just created using Hostinger, and also something called an ESP, which is an email service provider. The one that I use is ConvertKit. I will link to it below, but you can use other ones as well. It's basically something which allows you to store all of those email addresses and email everyone at once. So once you've got people joining your email list as a result of your freebie, you'll be able to share valuable content with them either on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, which will ensure that they remain engaged, but also give you a new way to bond with your audience outside of social media. Some examples of the content that I share with my email list: every single Friday, I share a weekly lowdown email, which includes answers to your burning questions, hot topics within the creator economy, other news articles, and even a brand partnership opportunity. I also share the odd valuable email where I'm just sharing a new strategy that I've just tested and come up with, or some behind the scenes of me running my business. And of course, I use it as a promotional channel as well. So when I'm launching something, my email list will often be the first people to know. If you've not joined my email list already and you want to join join the other 20,000 people on it, then I would love to have you. I'll put a link in the description. All right, my loves, the good news is that there's only really two things you need to focus on doing. It's your website and it's building an email list. And the even better news is that if you use Hostinger, you'll be able to create your website in just a few clicks. So as a reminder, if you want to use Hostinger, go to hostinger.com/Jade10 and use the code Jade10 for 10% off. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about how you can be consistent on social media, which is a super important skill if you want to build an audience online. Thank you so much for watching as always. Can't wait to see my next video.